All
Let's
right.
do it.
Episode 81 of the Fair Enough podcast. I mean, greatest receiver on the planet, greatest receiver ever. Do it. Big 8-1, Dark Visor, Megatron, Calvin fucking Johnson. Shout out to the Hall of Fame. GOAT.
Yeah, and fucking Marion Hossa.
And shout out to Marion Hossa. Helped just about everybody in the Midwest. If you're from Pittsburgh, if you're from Chicago, if you're from Detroit, Marion Hossa tried to give you some sort of a Christmas gift, and it worked out for a couple of the teams.
I just
One
want
team.
to, yeah, it worked out for us a couple times. Did we miss Jerry Rice last week, or did you say Jerry Rice?
No, I said Jerry Rice, I think.
Okay, good. I was just making
Yeah.
sure.
No,
All
I
right,
said
cool.
Jerry Rice.
Okay.
T.O. Wasn't T.O. 81?
T.O. was 81. Yeah.
A
A lot
lot
of
of good
receivers, I bet.
receivers.
We really went down the
81, yeah.
line.
Okay. So, episode 81, Bob in Detroit, Mike in Chicago, Jack in Detroit. We got a little bit of hard stance of the week. And then we're going to do some NFL talk today. We are going to be talking about some new faces in new places. And we're going to decide if they move the needle for us or not, if they're making the team better, if we like the move, we don't like the move, kind of what we think about these situations. There's a fucking lot of them. As I was like going through my brain, I was just trying to think of like the top people, and there's even more top people that I didn't think about, So
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
players, the coaches, running backs, receivers, you name it. So we'll get into that. But how the boys doing? I feel like we didn't really check in last week. There was no wellness check, and we just went right into it. But
Dude, you want to hear? Well, I think we were pressed on time or something last week that we kind of just ripped right into it. I think. But you want to hear something just depressing as fuck?
let's hear it.
So on Saturday. Okay, I went golfing. Right, I played 20 or 34 holes. We couldn't get the second 18 in, but we started at 1 o'clock. I golfed all the way until 8 o'clock. So I was golfing for 7 hours straight.
Damn.
Which it was fun. I don't recommend. I wanted to play an extra 9. That's it. It turned into a shit show. Whatever. But I was meeting up with my buddy and some friends at this house music festival that was going on, and it was like $50 to get in. I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, I'll meet you up. I call my guy. I'm like, yo, how long are you gonna be there? He's like, oh, I'm here all night. I'm like, all right, cool. So like, I'm on my way home from golf. I'm a little fucked up. I'm not
You got to
thinking.
be
So I buy
gassed
this.
at that point.
Oh yeah, definitely gas. But I was pretty. Yeah, I was doing all right. And anyways, I'm driving home, so I buy this ticket. I get home, like, I gotta change right away. I was like, all right, buy this ticket. It's like $65 with all the fees and shit. Mind you, it's like 8:30, 8:45. I get home, buy the ticket, and then I'm looking up the directions to see how far it is, like to be like, hey, I'm gonna be there at like 9:15, 9:30. Meet me at the door type thing.
Right.
Turns out the concert fucking ends at 10 o'clock. Everyone's got to get out.
No way.
Yeah, so I buy it, and I'm like, motherfucker.
You bought the ticket?
I bought the ticket. Then I looked up where it was, and it said, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. So I get out of my Uber at like 9:42, and I'm like, well, fuck it. Like, I'll just go meet my friends, and then we'll walk out together. I go up to the fucking thing. They're like, you can't come in. I was like, well, she's like, there's no re-entry. I go, well, I never entered. Like, I had some shit come up. I had the ticket. I'm just meeting my friends. I know it ends in 10 minutes. Is that cool? They're like, no, we can't let you in. And I'm like, dude, oh my God. I literally spent $65 plus an Uber ride for absolutely nothing, dude. Just to go to the next bar. I was so upset. Like, come on, man.
That's horrible, dude. And there's nothing you could do either. Who the fuck ends a concert at 10 p.m.?
It was like a festival in a park too, where I'm like, I don't know, maybe that's why. But it was like, dude, I don't know. Everyone's whatever. I was just, it was so quick. Everything was happening so fast. I was like, all right, fuck it, blah blah blah. Woo, I got to buy the ticket. This, and then it turns out I fucked up for not doing any research at all.
Because you played a second 18. You got greedy.
Literally.
Was your plan to
literally.
play 2 or your plan was to play
No,
1?
not at all. So I was pretty gassed after one. I played okay at best. And the one dude we were with is like, I could play again. And my buddy Joey Schrader, he's always down. So he was just
Yeah,
like, yeah,
he's like,
I'm down. And
"Fuck,
then
he's gonna wanna do
I,
it."
yeah, I was like, hey man, I'll play another nine, like thinking that's what it was.
Mhm.
And we like got to like the seventh, and they're like, oh, we could probably get 18. And I was just like, I don't want to do 18, bro. Like I want to be done in like two holes, but whatever. I mean, it was fun. And I ended up having a good night too. It was just long fucking day, and I wasted money for nothing.
Yep. I had the
Yeah.
golf outing in Grand Rapids this weekend, and it was the same thing. And I was going home Saturday after the golf outing regardless. I was like, "Dude, I've been gone the last, like, 3 weekends. I'm fucking tired of being gone. I'm going home after this." And
Hmm.
sure enough, we got back in the clubhouse after the outing, and Al and the boys are like, "Dude, I mean, we gotta play again, right?" I'm like, "Guys, I'm leaving. I'm leaving." So they're, like, calling different while we're at this, like, banquet, because you do the banquet after the outing, we're like eating food and stuff, and they're like on the horn with 5 different golf courses trying to find another tee time that happens like right now. And I was like, dude, I got to get out of here before I make a mistake and fuck around
Yeah.
and end up in a casino or something stupid like that because I stayed here for another 18. That definitely would have happened. So
Oh
I
yeah.
jetted home and had a great Saturday evening.
Well, that's awesome. It's
How
good to
you
hear.
doing,
How about
Jack?
you, Jack?
You know, I'm hanging in there. I feel like I've been way too busy recently, though. Like, I need to reel it back a notch type of deal. I got too much on my plate, and it's not giving me enough time to, like, think about it?
I think that
Yeah.
saying no to people in your 20s is a skill.
And I'm terrible at that, dude.
I don't have it either. We're not like as a family. We don't have. Well, Maya's got it. Maya can say no,
Yeah, she
but
sure can.
we can't say no. Our parents can't say no. So that's
No,
rough.
Yeah.
but other than
But
that, it's not like I'm busy with shit that I didn't sign myself up for.
That's the thing.
I'm doing a bunch of stuff that I love. I just need to do less of it at the same time so that I can relax a little bit.
You got to look out for number one sometimes. I have to
Yeah,
remind
yeah.
Savannah that all the time. Like, you need to eat some food and make some good food for yourself and look out
right.
for number one. You're too busy taking care of everybody else. You gotta do some self care every once in a while.
Yeah, you do. It's important, and I don't know, it's one of those things that I'm kind of just learning as I go.
Hmm.
This is my first year out having to fill
Adulting
my time with shit, you
out of the
know.
womb.
Yeah, exactly. I was just born yesterday, last night. So, I don't know. It's definitely stressful and I'm stretched thin, but there's no other way to do it. This is how you got to do it.
It
And
is.
it feels
Yeah.
good to know that I'm in the mix now, and I'm at the very least I'm hanging on.
Hmm.
So it
Yeah.
could be much worse.
I also feel like I feel like there's a fine line between, so I think for one, selfishness comes with time. Um and that's just as simple as that, is you start realizing, like Bob said, you got to look out for yourself. And that doesn't mean selfishness needs to be like a dickhead, you know what I mean? It's just,
No.
hey, I'm looking out for myself.
Yep.
But like there's that fine line that you start to flirt with, and you learn how to be like, okay, this is really gonna add to my happiness and be fun and like all this and yada yada. And then there's like that, hey, this is just an experience. Like I should go do this while I can. And once you fucking fine tune that, it's so everything is so much better, you know. And it's like you realize makes your fucking dick wiggle a little bit, you know what I mean? And then you,
Yeah.
even if you do that every weekend and you're busy as fuck, you still know you're like, oh yeah, this is my thing. Instead of like,
Yep.
bop bop bop, I'm doing all this crazy shit, you know. So
Right.
it's that shit comes with time. Especially
Yeah.
when you're kind of just bebopping, dude. And also it's summer. This is what the summer is. Everyone gets all fucked up and over schedules, dude. I mean, look at every week we're bitching about it. So I mean, you're
It's
not
funny.
alone.
Yeah,
It's funny because like if you talk to somebody like on the West Coast or something, and like somebody that grew up there doesn't understand, but it's like we we schedule our summers like months in advance, and we got 90 days to knock all this shit out.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like other people don't understand that, but in the Midwest and the East Coast and shit, it's like
Yeah.
summer's the real deal. You got to pack all this shit in, and you get 12 weekends. That's fucking
Yeah.
12 weekends you get to dedicate to people. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. Because this winter I felt a lot more mellowed out, a little bit more relaxed because there wasn't shit going on. I didn't want to be outside, didn't want to
No.
drive anywhere.
Yeah, football's not on
Yeah.
outside; it's on inside. That's where you want to
True.
be.
Yeah, exactly. You
Exactly.
don't have a golf simulator or anything, so
Yeah,
it's not like
Right.
you're golf. You know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah,
yeah,
but
and
yeah,
that's the
Yeah.
whole point. And that's why seasons are awesome.
exactly. But I think
Yep.
it's important. Just say yes as much as you can, because like when there's the light at the end of the tunnel and you're like, all right, time to settle down, time to buy a house, time to start having a family and shit like that. You want to be able to be like, I'm exhausted from all that shit that I was doing. I feel fulfilled. Now we can roll into the next chapter, you know?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
And I don't necessarily think about that a whole lot, but it's
And you
definitely in the
shouldn't.
back of my head
You
because it's
shouldn't.
like,
Just keep saying yes. You don't need to think
right,
about that stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
right.
I mean, the worst time is wasted time. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not someone that lets like age and like time restrict my like mental and well being or anything. But like when you're wasting time, even if it's like I don't consider like taking a nap wasting time. You're like, oh, this is beneficial to my fucking day, my week, whatever. But like when you're just like, damn, I did nothing that was any good for me. That's when you're like, ah, fuck, I could have been doing anything else,
See,
you know?
that's
Mhm.
that wasted time sometimes is how I view my rest time these days. Where it's like, oh, yeah, I could do nothing next Saturday, but then like, fuck, there goes a whole Saturday out the window. Even though that resting Saturday would have been the absolute best thing for me.
You
For
would have loved
example,
it.
last Saturday, I was here sitting in this chair, and then I was talking to Dave on Discord, and he's like, hey, we should go golfing in Saginaw. I was like, bet, I'm on my way. Left, played 18, got shit faced at his parents' house after, and didn't go to bed till 4 in the morning. Woke up hungover as hell and drove back to Detroit. Like,
But
why did I
great
do
night.
that?
Had a great night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fantastic though. And I said that yesterday. I said, am I pissed about it? Yes. Would I do it again? Yes,
Right.
Yeah.
as well.
That's what it's all
Yeah.
about.
So I don't know.
Definitely.
Well,
Two
good.
Speaking
sides
of
to the
just getting
sword.
up and doing things, fucking me and Drew are going to Kentucky.
Yeah, that's going to be dope. He was telling me about
Yeah.
that.
Out of
For
nowhere.
what?
Well, dude, he's like, oh, let's go to a Florida Gators game. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking Florida, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck about college football enough to get in a plane, go to Florida, come back. Like, that's like a whole, like, multiple days off type thing. I was like, I'm not
Right.
doing that. And I told him, I was like, I'll go to Kentucky or Missouri. And I know my cousin goes to Kentucky, so I was more on the Kentucky train. So
Oh, I
I was
didn't
like,
know your
fuck it.
cousin went there or goes
Yeah,
there.
she's like a junior, I believe now. I don't know if she's 21 yet though. It sucks because I would love. She's fucking hilarious. She's very like low key and doesn't talk much, but she's fucking funny and she knows it.
It's kind of
So it'd
like
be cool to
Maya.
party with her. Yeah, kind of the same concept.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was like, fuck it, I'll go see her. Obviously, me and Drew are gonna go sit and fucking watch some. He's like, dude, you don't even get the college. I was like, I've never been to a college football game, so like, I don't know. But I'm your dick is hard as hell, and I'm just kind of like, let's do it, you know? Like, I don't care, like, whatever.
Yeah, it'll be
So
sick. Even though it's just Kentucky, and I mean, obviously they're a basketball school. It's SEC football. Like
yeah, but
it's gonna be
dude,
cool.
they're an improved program though. Let's get real over the last
Oh,
couple
for
years.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
it'll
yeah.
be that upper echelon of SEC football, not the top tier, but it'll still be like good, I would
Oh yeah.
assume.
No, it's gonna be
So
fun. Couple of teams replacing quarterbacks, trying to figure themselves out too. So it should
yeah,
be a good matchup, and
for sure.
that'll be a fun roadie. And yeah, Lexington not nearly as daunting of a drive as Gainesville, Florida.
Well, that was the thing because he's like, let's take a road trip, and I was like, dude, I'm not. He's like, well, I'll drive through the night, and I was like, what the fuck? And then before I even have a chance to respond to him, he's like, actually, scratch that. I'm not driving 17 hours. I was like, yeah, dude, like that's a plane ride. We're not driving to fucking
Yeah.
Gainesville. Like it's just
You
not
know what he
happening.
told me last night?
What?
He said, I'm trying to get Mike to drive to Detroit and pick him up there and then drive down. I was
Yeah,
like,
we have to
that's the
discuss that.
dumbest thing that I've ever fucking heard in my entire life. Why would he go across country to
So
then go back across, basically,
so
town?
essentially from Mayo to like Detroit to fucking Kentucky, it's like 7.5. If he
Mhm.
comes to Chicago, it's like 9 or so.
So
So
there's no chance
he
you guys just meet down there.
well, what's the point of taking a road trip alone?
No,
I'd take
you're
a
right.
plane if we're I'd take a plane if that was the case.
There's gotta be somewhere more central in
Well,
Michigan
that's
that you guys
you
could
know,
meet.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, like maybe like Grand Rapids or something, but it's like I don't want to be leaving my car at some random house or
No,
I
you could leave it
find like a
in
parking garage or something.
yeah, or, like, one of those carpool lots that's right off the highway. Those are, like, people leave their car there all the time, and where you should do it is, like, Battle Creek. That's dead dick in the middle of the mitten, like, south. It'd probably take you 2 to 3 hours to get there, 3.5 maybe,
I
and then you
mean,
guys just shoot straight down, and it's on Drew's way.
the thing is, we'll talk about it. I mean, at the end of the day,
You don't wanna break down the logistics right now, dude? We got 40 minutes
I
to kill.
so
I'm
I
just
didn't look
kidding.
at it enough. He sent me a couple of and I was just like, dude, I don't know, because like I was telling him like, hey, meet at my place, because I thought he still had the pickup truck, and I was like, dude, meet in Chicago. We'll drive my car. We'll get way better gas mileage. And he's like, oh no, we got the Grand Cherokee, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. The thing's not a gas guzzler, so I'm like, fuck. That means I gotta meet him somewhere. But like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about it. The way I look at it is if take off that Friday. My thing is, I hope he's only trying to say Friday, Saturday, leave Sunday, because I'm not trying to take off
No,
4 days for this. Like I want to
he's
leave
not trying
Friday.
yeah, nobody's trying to
Yeah,
stay there an extra day.
yeah. Um, but yeah, whatever. It's like if I got to drive a couple hours and hop in a car and have him drive, and then if he wants to switch off, that's fine. But yeah, it should be fun. I'm excited actually. But I'm uh I'm I'm not sure what to expect. Also didn't realize
Right.
that the fucking tickets are outrageous, bro.
How much are they?
So how much is a fucking Big Ten football game at the fucking big house?
Anywhere
I'm
one
saying
one
middle seats here, like good seats, but not
150.
150.
Mhm.
Dude, the seats that we're looking at are actually pretty good, but the cheapest fucking seat in the house is like 195.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna spend like 250 on a fucking seat per. And then the fucking dude, the hotel for 2 beds is fucking 250 a night.
Maybe they do care about football down there
But
in
my
Lexington.
thing for real though, but I was like, God damn. Like even
Eh,
Airbnbs after fees were over like 200 a night. And we were like, fuck it, let's just do, we'll be downtown. But I was like, holy shit, dude. Like I can get a fucking hotel in the city for $100, dude. Like
right.
250 a night in Lexington. I guess
Might need
seems
to get
wild to
Will
me.
Levis or Calipari or somebody on the horn.
For
Can you hook
real,
a
dude.
brother up here, dude? This
I'm
is
s-
outrageous ticket prices you guys got going on.
Seriously though, man, it's insane.
That'll be
But
sick though.
yeah, I'm not too
I'm
worried
glad that you're
about it.
doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
Ready to get into hard stance?
Yeah, I mean, it actually flows right into it because
Let's
it's
do it.
actually about football fandom and just kind of any fandom and popping tarps at a game and having like your chest painted. I'm out on that. I'm
You're
over it.
out on it.
I think it's the stupidest thing in the world, especially for a guy like me where the Bears play and it's cold as fuck. I'm done with you people. I'm sick of you guys. And I just think popping tarp at game in general is ridiculous. I know I did it the other day at the Cubs game, but that was because I didn't want to get punked by some fucking 23-year-old because I
I
put
was
my
gonna
shit back
say,
on.
dude,
I put
you
my shit
just
right back
fell.
on though.
You
I
did,
know.
but you fell for the peer pressure of it. But
Nah, dude, I just wasn't.
it's
You
part
saw
of it.
those guys yelling at that other dude to tell him to take his shirt
Oh,
off for
dude.
like 20. It was at least like 3 minutes long of them yelling in his face, and I
Yep.
wasn't trying to get punked like that.
Bleachers
So,
are
and it
different
was
out
wet.
there at Wrigley.
No joke. But I think the painting the chest is obnoxious.
I would agree. Yeah, I guess if somebody called me and was like, "We're doing Lions, you're the fucking O," I'm probably not gonna be the O. Like, I'm
Yeah, I'll be
probably not
like,
gonna do that.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was a point in my life where I definitely would have just been like, all right, yep, fuck it, let's do it. But normally you don't see the painting, the body paint out of the young lads. Normally you see that out of the drunk
The
45
middle
to
age,
55.
yeah.
Yeah, those fellas are the ones that are painting. Yeah, you're right. It's all the hair and just a terrible paint job.
Yeah.
But I don't see myself ever popping the tarp and painting. I don't see it. I
Yeah.
do I do think I could be convinced if it was a playoff game though.
Really.
Yeah. Cuz you
It's
got
just,
to you got to wild out for the playoffs. I
but
mean,
the thing
we've
is
never
though, is
been there. I
like,
don't know what it's like, but
who is that for though? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like to possibly be on TV. I just don't get like what's the joy in it. Like, I can rah rah like a motherfucker with my clothes on, dude, nice and toasty.
it's not for your wife. Your wife's not going to like that shit one bit.
No,
If
I
you're
don't.
leaving the
That's
house with plans to paint yourself, she's not going to
yeah.
like that.
Why is our fucking bathroom navy blue and orange right now? Don't worry about it. Bears are on at 12.
Bears are on at 12 and we're fucking winning this week. I'm the bee.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, they're letting me be the bee today.
Yep,
They know I
I'm the
got a
good luck
shitty
bee.
bladder.
Yeah,
I
exactly. You
gotta
better
take the
slide your ass
aisle.
out. Yeah. That's a good point. If you're the B of the S, you're
Yeah,
you're the piss your
exactly.
pants guy.
Yeah. I just think it's, top down, dude. I mean, from Pee Wee football all the way to fucking pro. I mean, if you're doing it at Pee Wee football, you probably should be on some sort of registry somewhere, but that's beside the point.
Let me
But
ask you
yeah,
this. If
okay.
so this is actually a scenario that happened in Seinfeld because Seinfeld conquers the world and will conquer the world until it ends. Uh, Jerry was asked if he wanted tickets to the Rangers game, and it was a playoff game against the Devils. The caveat was he had to go, and the fellas that he was with were spelling out devils on their chest, and he had to be one of the letters. But he got to go to the playoff game for free. Thoughts on that? What if you got to go to the game? What if you got to go to the Bears game, but they're like, dude, you got to be the A, but
It
you come for
I,
free.
I mean, everything has a price for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'd have to be 500 plus. The ticket has to be 500 plus dollars.
Really?
Yeah, dude, I don't care. I like watching
So
football, especially football. I like watching football.
375.
Yeah.
You say fuck you. I'm forking up the change. I'm not doing the Bears thing.
No, I'm watching it on my fucking 70-inch TV in the back. I like football on the TV. So if you're not giving me a fucking primo seat, I don't need to be there. I mean, I would pay, but I would then pay for the nosebleeds because that's where all the fucking diehards are anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
That's where the recklessness happens. So I don't know. You'd have to be a pretty primo price for me to. Especially, you got to realize that I live in Chicago too, so we don't have a dome. So like, that's a whole nother fucking aspect to it. That it's like these motherfuckers are out here in 30-degree weather with no fucking clothes on, and it's like the dude next to you has a Sherpa on, and you have nothing on. Like,
Right.
it's just like you can't be okay. And guys wonder why they die earlier than fucking women, dude, because they want to, clearly. Jesus Christ, man.
Let's do one last scenario for this.
All right.
Bears, Chiefs, 2027 Super Bowl. Mike gets to go, but he's the exclamation point at the end of a couple guys that are spelling out Chiefs. But you get to go to the Super Bowl for free, and the Bears are playing against the Chiefs, but you're part of it. You're
that's
doing
fine.
it?
Yeah.
Pop the
100%.
exclamation point?
Fuck yeah.
All right, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, because your Super Bowl tickets, that's definitely well over 500.
10
So,
G's.
yeah. Well, okay, so this is I was going to parlay this into another thing, is that another thing that I hate about this is that it promotes you standing up the whole game, and I cannot stand when people are standing at times they shouldn't be standing.
Yep.
Nothing makes me more angry at a game when people are standing up and you're like, dude, why are we doing it? Like, it's not time to stand up. There's like 3 times to stand up: when we score, when we win, and when we want to kill the closer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's not that many times to fucking stand up, and I hate that.
I'd say for football, specifically NFL, there's a very interesting etiquette to the stand up sit down process. I think that you can get a lot more loosey goosey with it on a Monday night game or a Sunday night game or a playoff game. But if it's a 1 o'clock, we're standard. Let's make the place loud, but let's also watch the game. You know, we got to see what's
Yeah,
going on.
100%. I love the thought of I love live sports. I love sports. Especially, like, I enjoy the shit. Like, I don't know, like, the rah rah is not why I go to the games. I get into it. I indulge when it's necessary, but
Hmm.
like, I'm not there to be crazy. Like, I'm there to watch the game and hopefully we win this motherfucker and get drunk while I'm doing it. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I just can't stand the inappropriate standing up and yelling and stuff. And it's like that tarps off equals I don't want to be behind you. You know what I mean?
Right. No, you're right. It definitely does. Normally, those guys are way up in the nosebleeds, luckily.
Yeah,
Not
that
that
is
we're
true.
I mean, we are too,
Yeah.
but normally we try to sneak a few rows in front of them fellas.
Yeah, for sure. But either way, I mean, there's a time and a place, but I'm very out on it unless it's got to be fucking Super Bowl playoff. It's got to be very high stakes game.
Hmm.
And I'm still not down. I don't want to be part of it, especially.
I think I'm 3 for 3 on being on your side in hard stance. I thought that was going to go a different way, but here we are. We're 3-0.
Yeah, I still got a doozer of one that I am very passionate about, but it's got to be. I don't want it. I want it to pertain to the fucking episode because it's just gonna go off the rails. So I can't take a football sportsy episode and because we'd be talking about it for 30 minutes because I'm very passionate about
So that's more of
it.
a general type of episode for
Yeah,
that one.
100%.
All right,
Yeah,
good.
probably.
Well,
Yeah.
good.
So-
Well, yeah, we'll do that. We'll let that one take over the episode. Maybe we'll do that like a couple weeks into the season. Okay, so let's do this NFL move the needle thing.
Let's
So
run it.
Mike and I have compiled a list of guys. Like I said, there's running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers, coaches, and we just want to basically ask, does this move the needle for you? Do you think this team will be better? Like, is this a positive move or a negative move for the team? And I'll start. And I'll
Okay.
ask you the hottest one. This literally just happened, yesterday? Dalvin Cook to
Yeah.
the Jets. Does this move the needle for you as far as like the Jets go?
I want to say yes because the talent that he really is, but I'm not gonna say no. I think this guy. I think if the needle starts in the middle, I think that stays in the middle, moves it a tiny bit in the green, but
Hmm.
I definitely think it's a beneficial move for the Jets. I don't really. I think it's a kind of a lateral move, if not a backwards move for Dalvin Cook, in terms of his role. But
Definitely
they already
backwards.
had, yeah, they already had a pretty solid core of skill players, and I mean, obviously Brees Hall is a dog,
Hmm.
so I just don't think he was that necessary for that team. I do think, and I mean, even their weapons, like their receiving core is not that bad. Um, so do I think it moves the needle? I don't think he's going to be the one that puts them over the top. If am I wrong? Is he going to rush for 1,000 yards and Brees Hall takes a back seat because he's still recovering? I don't know. That'd be sick, but I don't know. That division's tough, and I don't think Dalvin Cook personally was the guy that's gonna really like be like, oh yeah, we're good as fuck now. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think it was definitely like I mean, I understand what Dalvin's doing. He
Of
wants to go and
course.
play for a ring. He wants to go to the playoffs and do all that shit.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
awesome, as he should. And there's a couple other guys on this list that have gone the other way and went the money grab way. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But
Hmm.
Dalvin, I think it's weird because Brees Hall is so good and he can be that bell cow. He showed that in
Of
the. I
course.
mean, he didn't play a long time last year, but the games that he played, you were like, oh, okay, yep, you just saw it right away. You're like, this guy can be a freak and is a freak. So for Dalvin to come in there, and it's interesting because it's like, are they going to split the carries pretty evenly, or is it going to be a situation where Dalvin's almost like maybe not like a third down back, but like, is he going to take kind of a Jamal Williams type back? Like, hey, when we're on the goal line, we're handing it to you. When we're, on third and one, we're handing it to you. Like, is he going to have that role, or is it going to be more of like a committee straight up when like the first year of Tony Pollard and Zeke, where they were just fucking bang, 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 bang?
Or even the last couple years of Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, like with
Absolutely.
Aaron
Yeah. Is it
Rodgers.
going to
You
be
know what I
like
mean?
that? Like, that could work. If they did it like that, I think that'd be super positive for both guys, Brees and
Yeah.
Dalvin.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a Brees, you're kind of upset because you already kind of got one half a season taken away by injury. Now you're going to get another another season taken away by a guy. In terms of like money talks, I mean, it helps the Jets. I mean, it just lowers Brees Hall's stock, I would assume.
For sure.
Um, and it just kind of, it puts him in his own little hole. But I don't know, man. I'm curious to see how they use them because Dalvin Cook is a 3 down back. He's not some just goal line guy. Like he catches the ball just as good, if not better than majority of the backs in the league. He's obviously, I mean, he's perennial fucking 1,000-yard rusher. Like he's not a fucking share the carry type of guy. I don't care if he's getting a little
No,
older. So I'm very curious to see what they do with both of them
it's going to be interesting. That's going to be
for
like,
sure.
obviously, the way that Rodgers played last year, not even close to what he was as far as like MVP caliber. So like, they
Mhm.
might need to really lean on this running game to kind of get Rodgers going. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they use him.
Yeah,
And thank
100%.
God for both of us, Dalvin Cook is out of the fucking NFC North, out of the NFC
Yeah,
altogether.
for sure.
All the respect in the world to Dalvin, but fuck you, dude. You killed us.
Yeah, no,
uh,
definitely.
you want to go? Ask me one.
We go back and
Back and
forth.
forth.
I'll go with another big name, probably the biggest receiver to get moved, that I can think of off the top of my head. Um, for a team that was in the playoffs and then took a step back last year, and now they have a weird situation at quarterback. They pick up DeAndre Hopkins with the Tennessee Titans. What do you think this guy does for this team, honestly? Or if he does anything at all?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting situation because old Tannehill is like, he's the Kirk Cousins of the AFC, but worse, I would say, like
Yeah, he's a
for
shittier
sure
version.
worse. Yep.
Yeah,
And then you got Derrick Henry, who presumably is on his last leg. Like, this could be the last good Derrick Henry year.
yeah.
If we're like, I don't know how. I'm pretty sure he's like 30 or 31, maybe.
I don't know. He's 30 maximum. I would
Yeah,
say
he
like
might be 30.
28. But
Regardless,
yeah, regardless is right.
he's only got a year or a couple years left. So for D Hop at 31 years old to join this team at this time, I don't fucking get it, dude. I don't get it. It doesn't move the needle for me. I think their win totals at 7.5. I don't, because their division is so shitty, they'll probably get to 7. I don't know if they're
Yeah,
getting to 8 and 9, but I don't I don't understand this move for D Hop. I mean, he got paid pretty well in Houston. He got paid really
for
well
sure.
in Arizona. So like, for him to be 31 years old, it's not like if he was like 28, I'd be like, all right, yeah, go get paid one more time, But
Yeah,
that's not the
for
fucking case,
sure.
dude. Like, you're running out of time. You're in Julio Jones kind of territory now, where it's like, you need to make a decision quick, and do you want a ring or don't you? And I mean, this year at least, he's kind of throwing out, which was just weird for me because the guy's he's not at the top of his game, but he's not far from that,
Yeah, I mean, I think you get per 16 games over the last 2 years, even though he's missed so much, he's still a top 10 receiver,
Exactly.
if not better, honestly. But
So what are you
yeah,
doing?
I well, that was my thing. Is my confusion with it was, well, for one, what the fuck are the Titans doing? Is Tannehill gonna be the guy? Does Levis get a chance this year?
Yeah,
Like I think if Levis gets a chance this year, to me it moves the needle for this team.
I absolutely agree with that.
because
Absolutely.
having a fucking star receiver for your young quarterback to kind of bail you out every once in a while. I mean, look at Kyler. I mean, Kyler is showing how not good he is. He is mediocre. He's a middle of the pack quarterback. He's exciting, but D Hop made him look way better. And it's like this could, help this kid grow. But it's like if you're going for gold and you're trying to win a championship with Tannehill, I'm confused for D Hop also. I think it moves the needle for the team as a whole. I just
Yes.
don't know where that team is headed. Like I don't know what their plan is. It's very confusing right now.
I think I mean, it kind of feels like the end of the run that the Red Wings had to me, where those last 3 years that they made the playoffs, like the 23rd, 24th, and 25th consecutive year, it was like we're grasping. I mean, sorry, I
Yeah,
said
no,
it
no, you're
again.
good. No, no, you're good. I wasn't saying anything.
It was just kind of like we're grasping at straws.
Yeah,
We're signing the Danny Alfredsons of the world. Like we know that this thing's going in the wrong direction. I think the Titans are kind of there. And if you can have the balls to cut the ties early and put in a Will Levis and just to fucking see what happens, what do you have to
yeah,
lose? Like you're not winning this division. You know you're not winning this division.
yeah.
Jags
And you're
got that
definitely
shit
not.
locked up.
You're definitely not winning the fucking Super Bowl either. That's the thing. It's like
No.
that defense has regressed, and everyone else has regressed. I don't know. Another thing with D Hop that I was gonna say is, dude, you've been the best receiver ever to play with the worst quarterbacks. He
Yep.
has made the
Yes.
worst players on the planet, other than maybe Deshaun Watson, look so good, and he still puts up crazy numbers. Like, why wouldn't you try to just try to go play with a good quarterback for once? Go play with the top, not maybe not Mahomes or something, but dude, that middle of the pack and like good, better quarterback. Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
Well, remember his list that he came out with when he entered free agency? He was like, I want to play with a good quarterback and I want to go to a winning team.
and he went to a
Fucking 0 for
mediocre
2.
team. Yeah, he went to fucking number 16 out of 32 on both of those categories.
Dude, if
Literally.
if he was like I'm going to go be a New Orleans Saint and play with Derek Carr, I'd be like, "All right." That's
That
like
makes more sense.
I'd be like that makes more sense than you going to play in Tennessee. And the
Yeah.
Saints aren't even good. So it's
Or
like
is it like is he that egotistical where like he's got to be the guy where if there's anywhere else there that like he can't handle either taking a backup like a number 2 role or being like a 1A 1B, not that Michael Thomas is like a dog but when he's when he's out
it'd be
there,
more
like
Olave than, anything,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, fair. Where it's like, is it that big of a deal where it's like, oh, he's got to be that, like he's got to be him? Or like, I don't know. It's fucking confusing.
It is.
Um, I think the needle moves a little bit for the team, but it's very confusing for both sides of that fucking that that pump.
I agree.
Weird.
Let's go let's go with another really I mean, I get why this happened, but just kind of a funny move is Zeke to the Patriots.
I love it.
Do you?
I
Moves
think it
the
moves
needle?
every. I think it moves the needle for everybody involved in a big
Really?
way. I really do. I really do. I think, dude, let's just talk Zeke personally.
Mhm.
This guy has been on a very hyped team for his whole career that has never kind of pushed it. He got hurt. He kind of got fucked, and it's
Mhm.
really dampened his career. So now he gets to go play in a fucking run heavy offense right now with a young buck who is good, Ramondre Stevenson, but he's also
Mhm.
playing with the best fucking coach ever.
Yep.
It's like if you ever wanted to revitalize your career, I feel like that is such a good move. Hey, I'm gonna go get coached. I'm gonna go get humbled. I'm gonna go fucking just work hard and get back to possibly being elite and and live in a world where the running back is a committee and be with the team that wants him
Mhm.
and fucking is gonna show, hey, listen, this is your job. You're not the guy every single down. We have a good young core here, but you're going to have a job. You're going to do your job and you're going to get coached by the best people in the world. I think that's fucking genius. And I think it's very smart. And I think also for the Patriots, like, I don't know. I think Zeke's good still. I think Zeke has a lot left in him. Um, if you make his role, 10 to 17 touches a game, like he's got a lot to offer, and he's a fucking workhorse, and he'll put his nose in your mouth. I mean, he's a run through a motherfucker face type of fucking running back
He
when he
is.
wants to be. And I think that that helps every team. I think the Patriots are very in limbo in general because of Mac Jones, but
Mhm.
I don't hate that. I think Zeke would have made any team better. Um, and I think I would have loved for the Bears to try to get Zeke, but over like Foreman.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I think it moves the needle both sides. I think it moves it pretty well. I think it was a good signing for both the team and him.
I agree. I mean, I don't think the Patriots are going to be any good. I think they definitely
Hmm.
need to figure out the quarterback situation. I mean, they always put a defense together just because Bill can draw that shit up and literally put 11 morons out there and scheme it up right. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the Mac Jones thing is just kind of holding them back a little bit. And they don't, I mean, the fucking receivers that they had, like, they're not giving Mac Jones any help either. You
No,
know,
definitely not. I
they
mean,
got like
definitely not.
Juju's the guy there. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I like Juju, but
I like
he's
Juju
a
too, but he's not
he's
a
a
one
fucking
anymore.
flex. Yeah,
Yeah,
nah,
he's
he's
not
a
a one.
fringe too, for
So
sure.
I agree. Like, I think Zeke could easily go in there and, like we talked about a minute ago, like have a Aaron Jones. He could be the AJ Dillon to Ramadre's Aaron Jones. You know,
100%.
like
I
just
agree.
feed me when you need a break. I will tote the rock and we won't lose a
Yeah.
step. That's what you
Nah,
want in your second guy, the Jamal Williams of the world, the fucking for the Lions this year, it's probably going to be Gibbs one, but you need that David Montgomery, dude. You
for
need that
sure.
guy. You have to have him. So I agree. I think Zeke for any team would have been a great pickup. And I didn't even think about it, but yeah, the Bears could have really used him.
Well, and that was the thing too about Zeke. Well, yeah, the Bears could have really that would have been great, but I just don't think that was ever an option. They
Yeah.
went and signed Foreman early. They clearly
Mm,
had a plan. They said, "Hey, we're going to sign this fucking guy who is going to be a 1 year whatever." But
somebody liked him.
yeah.
Somebody loved Foreman for sure.
What was I gonna say? Fuck, I lost it. Oh, he didn't do any of the fucking theatrics. He went and worked out with the fucking Patriots 4 weeks ago. He's having fucking dinner with Mac Jones. Everyone knew this, that he didn't hold out. He waited until the shit kind of got rolling, so he didn't have to take any extra risks in terms of getting hurt in camp and whatever. Which at this point in time in the NFL, you gotta be cautious. Well, like we are talking about earlier, you gotta look out for number one.
Yep.
And but it was like you kind of had a really good feeling that he was going to go to the Patriots once he worked out with them and eating with Mac Jones and yada yada. Like he didn't pull the Le'Veon Bell. He didn't pull the fucking the Josh Jacobs shit. Like he just said, "Hey, fuck it. I want to be on a team. I want you guys to want me. Let's fucking make it happen." And I appreciate that. I think Zeke seems like a good teammate. Um,
I
and I think
appreciate
that
that too. I think
you
you're
know,
completely right. I think at the beginning of his career, like he was a fuckhead, but he was so young and so good that it was like
yeah,
I get why. But he grew up nicely. I mean, the guy
yeah,
he's just a pro. He's a pro
yeah,
now. And yeah, for
definitely.
him to do it that way, yeah, mad respect to Zeke. Uh
And like
but
even what
but they ain't
Dalvin
getting
Cook
over
did.
that 7.5 win total.
No,
They ain't
I
touching
agree. You're not wrong.
that.
But even like what Cook did, like Cook comes out like right away and is like, "Oh, I want to be in Miami." Where it's like, dude, like to me, then it's like I don't want you on my team anymore. You know what I mean? Like where
Right.
Zeke didn't do any of that shit. It was just kind of like, "Hey, we're not getting paid. That sucks." But also, fuck, it, I'm gonna go in and do work. Which I was like,
Yep.
okay, I fuck with you like that for sure. So,
Absolutely.
um, I want you to just because I want to hear you talk somewhat positively about the Bears. I'm gonna stay on the receiver train, and I'm
Okay.
gonna say DJ Moore. What do you think about DJ Moore to the Bears? What does he do for that team and Justin Fields?
Dude, he helps Justin Fields so much in a place that Justin Fields needed so much help.
Yeah,
Like that, I think that was such a smart move for them, especially to get a guy like. I think that sometimes people overlook these like tightly compact, just good football player kind of receivers. people
Yeah.
always think about the Mike Evans of the world. You think about the speed with Tyreek, or
Yeah.
you kind of go to extremes. But then there's
Hmm.
these guys like the DJ Moores, the Amon Ra's of the world, that it's like these guys are fucking just 6 foot, 5'10", 5'11", like they're right here. They're not extremely fast. They're not the best route runner, but they're gonna catch every single ball you throw to them, and they're somehow gonna they're gonna find a way to get open. They always do,
Yeah.
and that's what DJ Moore does. And I was actually reading an article before we got on. Um, the young receiver from Cincinnati that the Bears took in the draft, I think it was the 4th round.
Yeah.
He was talking about how important it was for DJ Moore to join this team. He's like, he's been such a great mentor to me. Like, watching DJ Moore, watching the way that he works, watching the way that he runs routes, like, it's changed the way that I'm playing the game now. So, that's one of those intangibles that you don't always think about. And it's funny because DJ Moore's 26 years old, dude. Like, he's not
Yeah.
some wily veteran in the league,
No.
but it
Yeah.
feels that way,
For
because the
sure.
guys, just like we talked about Zeke, the guy's a fucking pro. And I think that that's just a big move in the right direction for the Bears. Obviously Chase Claypool, bum. Mooney, good piece to have. If they can get another receiver, um, I think that offense, and obviously they need to retool the running back room, but you can do that in the 3rd round of any fucking draft that you
Yeah.
want.
For
So
sure. That's not the. Yeah.
that's not priority. So for them to go get a guy like this, I think Justin Fields probably woke up fully torqued that morning,
Yeah.
knowing he
No.
was going to
Definitely.
throw to DJ Moore.
Yeah. And if we get fucking and if Carolina stinks this year, hopefully we'll be sitting with a fucking hopefully a top 5 pick and like a top 15 pick. If we can get like 7 wins and then
Hmm.
Carolina stinks, we're sitting there with 2 fucking top 13, 14 picks, and then we're cooking with gas once again.
Yep,
That's
that's huge. That's
yeah.
huge to have those
So
picks like that. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
definitely.
That's a
Yeah.
great pickup.
Yeah, I
Let's
was very
go.
excited. Go ahead.
Let Let's go coaches. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go over to the AFC West, and let's talk about a guy and a team, a guy that's been out of the league, and a team that was like plastered on every fucking Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night. Watch this
Yeah.
team, and I don't think they scored one touchdown the whole fucking year. Let's talk about Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. Do you think that Sean Payton is going to move the needle and get like Russ back to doing Russ things, or are they going to just stink again?
I think he does. It's hard for me to say he doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't want to. I'm not coming out here to fucking shit on Nathaniel Hackett, but like it, the first like 5 to 6 weeks
Sean
of
Payton
the
did.
season. Well, yeah, I mean that is insane. I honestly think that was inappropriate. I mean,
I
I
think
don't
so
hate it,
too.
but like I think that shit needs to stay behind closed doors. That stays in the booth. That stays wherever. I don't think you publicly say that.
If there was a previous scuffle between them, I get it. Like, that's fun. That's a
Yeah,
rivalry.
yeah.
But it just kind of feels like if
He
he'd
just
never
came
even
for his
met
throat.
Nathaniel Hackett. Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
like, dude, you didn't really need to do that,
nah, yeah. He came for his throat, and I mean, and what I was saying is like just what he deserves someone to come at his throat, but not publicly, not like that. Like
Right.
that wasn't appropriate. But like the first couple of games of that season, some of his play calling and his decision making, I think, really put that team and that Russell Wilson into like a I don't know, like playing scared type of shit. Like they like
Mm,
I don't know, they went for it on some dumb shit. Like they did some dumbass shit that kind of lost them some games early, and it just kind of was a snowball effect. So it's just hard for me to believe that bringing in an all-pro coach who is a brilliant offensive mind is not gonna somehow revamp that into a Pro Bowl esque quarterback and get him back on track, especially with the weapons they have, the fucking all the shit that he has around him. It's hard for me not to think that that doesn't move the needle pretty far. Like I mean, like
yeah.
kind of like almost. I mean, their odds are second best to win that division now
Hmm.
because of Sean Payton. It's the same fucking team, and now they
Yep.
have the second best odds. So it's like
Which is
I
crazy because the
I
Chargers are
agree.
out there too.
That's
Chargers
what I'm
are out
saying.
there.
Yeah, the Chargers are good.
Hmm.
Um, so it's a little confusing, but I just feel like it's impossible to not move that needle with that guy. But I think it could also be just the downfall, the demise of Russell Wilson in general, and they get just fuck all the way off, and then everyone's like, "Well, Sean, why couldn't you fix it?" You know, like maybe Russ is just straight up done,
Yeah.
and everyone is like, "Oh, maybe it doesn't matter who's the coach; it's just Russ is done."
Which is crazy to me because I remember watching that game 2 years ago, and this is a random Sunday, but the Seahawks were playing the Falcons, and Russ had like 350 yards and 3 touchdowns or something ridiculous like that. And I remembered, like, as I was watching one of those shitty Monday night games where it was like 9-6 that the Broncos were in last year, I was like, dude, I remember this guy literally last year
Yeah,
piecing everybody up. And
yeah,
it makes me wonder, like, maybe it was a situation where Nathaniel Hackett had such, like, a god complex and, like, just really needed to be in charge.
yeah,
Maybe he was just like, "Fuck you, Russ, like, I'm running this ship. This is my ship," where
yeah,
it should have been a completely collaborative effort on both of their parts.
yeah.
I'm just spitballing, but that kinda the way that the games went, it made me feel like that's what was happening.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you on that either, because that's the confusing part. Like, I don't know the way that those receivers talk about Russ and the way that everyone on that team still talks about Russ
Mhm.
makes me think that it was a coaching thing. Because
Right.
those guys talk nothing but fucking highly of him, saying how good he
Mhm.
is and how good of a teammate he is and blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well, if people were fed up with him as a quarterback, as the most important fucking player on the field, I feel like they're doing some more public like shit talking or less praise, but there wasn't. There's nothing but people talking about how much of a fucking dog he is and how much of a good teammate and how much fucking work he puts in. Where it's like, okay, I'm still sipping that Kool Aid. I'm still
Yeah.
on the Russ train. I think Russ still got it, but
I think so
we'll
too.
see. Yeah, I would like to see them do some shit. I do have a parlay with the Chiefs winning that division, so they better not fuck around and do some stupid shit. But yeah.
For them for there to be 3 good teams in that division, I think would make for a really fun year of football,
Well,
you
because
know?
that's what everyone thought was gonna happen last year, and it
Right. We were
didn't.
psyched. Yeah, we were psyched.
Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
even Oakland wasn't that bad. So you're like, "Oh, dude, this is the
Right.
fucking this division is no joke." And
Yeah.
it was like, "Oh, this division is kind of a
It's a joke, yeah, which
joke."
is sad. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you had to guess the win total for the Broncos, what would you guess?
What their over under is?
Yep,
I'd say 9.5.
close, 8.5.
Yeah, I think
Could they
yeah, I
get to
mean,
9-8? I think they could definitely get to 9-8.
I agree 100%.
You know,
I mean,
they got a split with the Chargers, and you'd love to split with Kansas City, but
for sure.
got to at least split with
Yeah,
the Chargers and beat Oakland twice. So,
definitely.
Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Last one. You got one more for me?
Yeah, I got a couple. I'm gonna go home for you. I'm gonna do a duo. I'm gonna do a double for you. I'm
Okay.
gonna do defensive players, Cam Sutton, CJ, GJ. What
Mm,
do those guys do for that team, and what do those guys do for this fucking off or this Lions defense? How
mm-hmm.
much does it move the needle?
It's everything. It's everything. Last year we had just a really bad rotating cast of DBs, and it was and also Tracy Walker went down before the season. He's like our one of our captains, a safety, like kind of the leader of that defense. So for him to go down, and then we got this just shitty rotate, like it was fucking Okuda, and then a bunch of guys you'd never heard of. So
Mm,
it was just no good. And then the one shining bright spot was your man's out of the University of Illinois, Kirby Joseph, saved us on the back end because he's a fucking ball hawk and a dog. Gonna be so excited to see what he could do this year. But to have CJ back there, a guy that's an established pro, a guy that was just in the Super Bowl last year, knows exactly what it looks like, knows exactly what the team needs to look like to get there. Everybody from the beginning of camp till now, has been talking about how important it is to have him as a vocal leader, especially for the young guys, the Kirby Josephs of the world. And same with Cam Sutton. I mean, Cam Sutton's a little bit of a younger guy, but um, for him to come in and be that corner one is massive for us too. So both giant acquisitions on the back end. And I was like looking at this stat earlier. It was like if you don't have a top 15 secondary, you like barely win a playoff game. So I mean, you got to make sure the back end's short up, especially in this league now where we keep talking about it. The running backs are mattering less and less. Guess who's mattering more? Receivers. So you better have some boys to lock them guys down. So I'm really excited that CJ's here. And dude, when he went down the other day, a couple weeks ago,
Oh yeah.
and had to get carted off the field, there was like, I don't think a word was spoken in the Metro Detroit area for about 6 hours until we found out that guy was okay. So shout out to CJ. I'm glad that he's doing all right.
Dude,
But
didn't
yeah.
speaking of these guys getting carted off without having didn't another guy get carted off the other day? Another really like a good player.
Jeff Okuda got carted off the other day. We traded his ass to the Falcons, and he got I mean, talk about a guy that can't catch a break. But I don't remember anybody else.
I thought it was someone else that was pretty high profile, but like this whole like these guys are getting like him and Burrow getting carted off and then kind of not having serious injuries is kind of confusing me. Like don't card him. Don't do that. Don't even tell us you carted him off because when you hear card him off, it's nothing but just agony. You know what I mean?
I don't want to
Like,
hear it. I don't want to hear it. You're
say,
right.
hey, he left practice with with an ankle injury. He left practice with a knee injury. Don't fucking tell me he got carted off. No.
Tell me he's got an ice bag. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, exactly. He might miss a couple of fucking days of practice.
Yeah. I don't need results.
Whatever.
Just tell me he left practice. And he's going to be okay.
100%.
Can we do this last one together? Because I think this one's fascinating, and I want to tell you a little bit about this guy.
Yeah,
So you gave me Frank Reich.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Frank Reich is a very interesting one, and I think that he's interesting for a couple reasons. Did you know that Frank Reich, after he was done playing football, so he was the Bills quarterback forever, and then he was the Panthers quarterback in 95. It was the Panthers' first year. He was their first ever quarterback, and full circle, now he's the coach. He declined an offer from the Colts, who wanted him to immediately go into coaching for them, like be a QB coach. And he went to, I think it was South Carolina, and joined like this monastery, huge church guy. Was there for 7 years.
Wow.
Studying the Bible with the boys, monk style. Isn't that fucking wild? And then one day got on the horn and said, all right, I'm ready to get into coaching. I think this was Bill Polian, the Colts old president, that was telling the story, and just called Bill and was like, hey, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll work for free, like whatever I got to do to get my foot in the door. And just glowing reviews of Frank Reich from everything that I read. Like, this guy's just a guy you want to have around, super nice. And then obviously the dude's basically a priest. So for him, I think him in Indy, I think, was a bad start because in 2018 he had Andrew Luck. They went 10-6, and then he fucking just loses Andrew Luck. He's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I thought everything was going well, and then for him to just lose what should have been an unbelievable Hall of Fame quarterback just out of the blue, for him to be able to just fucking pick up the pieces after that and move on, got to be pretty tough. So I really look forward to Frank Reich in Carolina. I think this big time moves the needle for the Panthers.
I agree. And it kind of sucks for our first round next week or next year, but I agree 100%. I think Bryce Young, I think that team is looking up for once. Like, and I think he's a guy, man. He's a fucking dude. He's hard nosed too, and he's no bitch. He's not your, I'm out. Hey, hard stance number 2. I'm out on the fucking highfalutin fucking high profile, high offense fucking college quarterbacks coming into the league. They can't fucking cut it, dude. None of
No,
them.
they can't.
None of them can do it. And I want a guy who has a mustache. I want a guy who's a little thicker. I want a guy who fucking likes defense. Like, I'm sick of this fucking these guys. They don't succeed. Then you got these guys like Frank Reich who fucking, sleeps with the fucking baby Jesus in his hand,
Mm-hmm.
coming, and he just wins games and shit. And it's like I'm pro. I think he moves the needle a lot too. The only reason why I didn't say Frank Reich on the last one, you dickhead, was because you were like, oh, last one. So I was like, well, I want to go with the homer for the guy because I wanted to hear you talk about them.
I appreciate
But
it.
yeah, so I agree. I think he moves the fuck out of that needle. I think that's weird as fuck, the whole church thing, personally.
I
But
agree.
like,
I mean, I
to
didn't
just
see it coming. I was just reading. I literally like scrolled back to the top. I was like, that couldn't have fucking been right. Let's reread this whole thing.
because like
Wild.
to step away from something that's so lucrative and so like such been part of your life forever,
Mm-hmm.
with potential of you not ever being able to get back in, is bananas to me. And I'm not like talking shit about religion, even though I like to do that. I meant more just like the fact that he stepped away. That's weird as fuck. Like, I don't know.
Stepping away from such a sure thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. When the guy literally was like, "Hey, come coach right away," and then it's like, "Nah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Right.
go coach the monks."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
go coach
fucked
the
up.
fellas up. Yeah, tell them about
Yeah,
Moses.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're playing in the
I think
fucking
that's
guards for some priest game.
I think that's gonna be a good situation. And we were both Bryce guys.
Yeah,
We're both
definitely.
Bryce guys.
Yeah, I'm
Always
on the
been on the
Bryce train.
Bryce train. Nobody could tell us
Mhm.
that we weren't on the Bryce train.
Agree 100%.
Uh, they need some shit around him, though.
Yeah,
But
they need
they'll
major
get
help,
there.
but
They'll get
yeah,
there.
100%.
It's kind of like Justin Fields last year. It's like
Kind of.
let's just test this guy out, see how he does. If he's good, we'll throw some guys around him. I think that's
Yeah,
kind of where they're at.
100%.
All right. Episode 81 is a wrap. That was the Move the Needle segment. That was fun. We need to do some more shit like that. I like that.
Yeah, we could do that with anything. We can do that with food. We can do that, I mean, fuck food. We can do that with
Yeah.
anything.
We didn't
Anything to
talk
move
about
the
food
needle.
this week. I promise we'll get back into food next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Food. It's gonna be hilarious when the Food Network somehow picks us up, and that's like we also talk about sports. So like we don't give a fuck about that.
Dude,
Keep
imagine, dude, tell me this wouldn't be fucking pipe dreams if we fucking somehow the Food Network picks us up. We do a Sunday morning fucking football show where we're talking snacks and fucking football. And it's
dude.
but it's based around snacks. It's not based around food and snacks, not around football. But we sit there on the couch and watch the 12 o'clock games. Like, get ready for the 12 o'clock games. That'd be
We get the Fox boys into studio. We're feeding Terry
yeah,
Bradshaw some fucking
yeah.
some chicken wings.
We're like Manning and Manning just for food, though. We're like bringing on like the fattest linemen there are in the league. Like, hey, Travis
Yeah,
Kelsey's
dude.
brother, like Jason Kelsey, what did you eat before games? Like,
Dude, that'd be a blast. All right, nobody take that idea. Jack's gonna cut that. All right,
All right,
episode
bro.
81 is a wrap. We love you guys. Happy Thursday. Have a good weekend. We will talk to you next week.